I think this is one of those things, Hans, that is not normal for a man to be lacking a purpose and a sense of purpose, except in the modern age. We look so much for my purpose, for self-motivation, for self-discipline, for all these things are a problem because we're separate and by ourselves and trying to do things disconnected from our people.
Yes.
But the more connected we are to our people, the more that heroic action,
Yes.
that motivation and purpose is just, it's not lacking. Calling your younger brothers on a mission.
Calling your younger brothers on an adventure, on a mission.
Yes. So we're here sitting on the streets in Medellín.
Yes.
We're at the High Performance House. It's a group of young men who come together to share a beautiful space, co-living and co-working. And out there on the street, we've got a hard-working entrepreneur
Selling eggs.
with his loudspeaker. We've also got another hard-working man out there with his electric saw. So yeah, we're just gonna welcome the sounds of these hard-working men who
Making life.
create the world, make the world go round.
Yes.
And yeah, so Hans, I thought today in our series on being an elder, we could talk about the priceless role of an elder to call the younger man on an adventure, or specifically on a mission, because I think we'll talk about an adventure later in this series, and there's kind of two different things there. Like, I'm thinking of adventure for adventure's sake versus like a serious mission which gives him purpose.
It may be even a great way to define what it is to be an elder. To call a younger man on a mission. You know, a different
part of it, yeah.
A different kind of parenting.
Yeah, and like I told you before, I don't like thinking of it as parenting. I think of it as something more, something beyond, something. It is the role of bringing them into adulthood. Yes, moving them further along, but kind of see the roles as different.
Calling them forth.
So, Hans, you and I have a young man here who's a client of mine, staying in the High Performance House, and working together to create something he's calling the Warrior Alliance, and it's a group of men coming together who are travelers and digital nomads, coming together for accountability, for brotherhood, for up-leveling, inspiring each other. And it's a great thing missing for many men who go and travel to be free and have adventures. And one guy in the group who signed up for the group, he realized on Sunday, he had like this big aha that he doesn't know what his purpose in life is. Doesn't know what his purpose is. And I think this is one of those things, Hans, that is not normal for a man to be lacking a purpose and a sense of purpose, except in the modern age. In this modern age, when we're separate, when we have this idea of individual happiness, individual freedom, individual success, it's of course lacking purpose. I have to find my purpose. Purpose becomes this big, elusive, mysterious thing to try to find or realize or capture, when a few hundred years ago, and for all of human history before that,
And in big parts of the world right now,
yeah, you wake up with deep purpose. Like, your kids need to eat today, you know? Like the neighboring clan is banging on the door with their spears.
or we're in the Maasai, you know, there's a drought, and so how are we gonna keep our cattle from dying? You
You're talking about when we were with the Maasai people in the Masai Mara. Yeah, the daily survival for your people, like a man had a very clear and very respected, very honored role, which means it's infused with meaning. You know, a respected and honored role is inherently full of meaning.
Yes.
So it's only in this modern era that we have the luxury of being so free, so disconnected. And part of the price of that disconnection comes in
Yes.
not knowing my purpose.
So could this be the same thing then? Yeah. Could it be that the question then becomes not only what is my purpose, but who are my people?
Yes.
Who are the people I want to take care of?
Are you getting that from my audio message
I'm
this
feeding
morning?
it in. I'm feeding it in. I'm feeding you.
Yeah.
But no, this is the power of parallel thinking, because that's exactly what I think also my work is. My work is not I'm coaching and I'm selling my coaching. My work is really find the people that I want to stand for, that I want to collaborate with, that I want to be in service of. That's really the work. Because when I find the people who my people really are, it's effortless. It's a win-win-win. There's no convincing, and it's a joy to work with them. So
Yeah.
who are my people?
We look so much for my purpose, for self-motivation, for self-discipline, for all things. All these things are a problem because we're separate and by ourselves and trying to do things disconnected from our people.
Yes.
But the more connected we are to our people, the more that heroic action,
Yes.
that committed service,
Yes.
that motivation and purpose is just it's not lacking. It's
No.
you're full of
You
it.
want to do I mean, everyone will recognize you. You're more ready to do something for someone else than if you're doing it alone. You know? You're more able to get up in the morning when it is also for other people than when you have to do it for yourself. You know, you prefer cooking for people than for yourself. You know, there's something that opens up when we feel connected, when we know we're doing it for our people. So there's a lot of power there.
So a great role for an elder is to reconnect that young man to his purpose, let's say, by reconnecting him to people he can serve.
Yes.
Giving him a mission of service.
Telling him basically also who his people are, or holding that vision for him, or showing that possibility to him. These could be your people. You can be in service of these people.
Yeah, my mother is in Ecuador. She's on the coast of Ecuador with her tiny dog in a penthouse overlooking the ocean. You know, she has kind of the American dream of, you know, retirement. She has a beautiful place to live on the beach. She has all the personal space in the world, but she's really missing that connection. And another thing she's missing is hard to get medications flown in from the States to Ecuador unless you have people personally bring it. And so recently I've been talking to one of my cousins. He's a younger man. And he's been wanting to come and visit South America and visit me in South America. And my mom was wondering if he might want to bring down some medication for her, and you know, she would give him a place to stay, give him some money to cover his expenses and things like this. And you know, in the modern world, in the Western modern world, we have hesitation for like asking someone for something because it seems like a burden on them. It's going to impinge on their freedom, on their personal time and place. But when I asked him, you know, I said, my mom's here, she can't get this medication. You know, it was like, of course, yes, I'd love to, you know. Yeah, like he'd love to be in service to his aunt. Of course he would, you know. This is so natural. There's so much honor and meaning and purpose infused in being of service in this way as a man or a woman
Yes.
to your people.
Yes.
And especially if there's a way that a man can be called to be a hero in today's world that so much does not anymore respect and honor the traditional roles of men.
So when we're seeing a younger man that's self-absorbed, looking within himself, feels whatever he feels, and is like wondering what else is there, what is my purpose, what is the meaning. I think that I'm just integrating here. The role of the elder can be to well, first of all, to tell him, I care for you, I'm connected with you. So that's already like an opening up. And
well,
then
to show it even more than
to
tell
show
it,
it and be that guy that this young man can feel, wow, this elder actually gives a fuck, you know. That's already an incredible opening right there, from the self-absorbed like obsession to like, I am connected. And then for that elder to hold a vision where this younger man can see that he's connected to his people and that he can be in service of his people.
He has a purpose that will be honored by his elders and by his people. Yeah, to give the young man a mission that will give him back this role of honor for his people is an incredible thing.
I want to write that down.
It's a priceless thing.
As if we don't have the Facebook
Right.
video.
Yeah,
I'm
hey,
doing it right now.
We're doing a podcast. You know, the recording.
Yes. To call a younger man on a mission.
Yes.
Call a younger man on it. Hold that vision for him. You know,
And
call him forth.
to be thinking, because, you know, when we're younger, we're often thinking a lot more about me in general. Yeah. And in those times to be reminding him of his greater mission, of his people, and of his future self.
Yes.
You know, who's the man who's going to want to be for his sons and grandsons.
Yes. And as
For
a,
his,
yeah, as an added bonus, as you are doing this as an elder, you are building family. You know, you are growing your family, your people.
you're restoring the bonds and the wealth of natural,
Yes.
enriching human connection.
You're remembering, as a friend of mine once said.
Yes, bringing back together. Yes. It's,
That's great.
It's priceless, the role of an elder. So Hans, as I was telling you, I recently just did this with my youngest brother. On Sunday, in fact, I sent him a letter making a passionate plea for his future self to take on a certain mission for himself, actually, this time for himself, which I think is okay too.
Yes.
You know, take on a mission. You know, take on responsibility for your future self, because in 10 or 20 years, if you don't take this added responsibility now, you're
Yes.
going to regret it. You know, that also is a great role for an elder.
To call him on a mission is great.
Yes.
Great
Yes.
thing. All right. If you feel called, we're here in Medellín. We're going to be here until November. We're going to do some live events around these very topics. If you have any inclination, you have questions, we're here for you, and we'll be doing these
Well, we're putting
broadcasts.
together a Facebook group.
Right.
Yes, if you would like to feel called to a greater purpose, if you would like to feel a far deeper connection to your meaning, to your people, then join the Facebook group that we'll be announcing soon.
Yes.
We're going to do some great work together. We're going to do some live calls, and yes, it's a gift from us to you as men, as elders who may or may not be older than you. That doesn't matter. Come and join us. And yeah, if you feel really called to a really big mission, and you're like, whoo, holy shit, how am I going to deliver on this mission? Then we'll invite you to our mission training camp in the Andes Mountains for for men who want to be great warriors and elders for their people.
Before that, if you want to be part of the Facebook and receive all these things, just send us a message. You know,
Yes.
I'm in, and I want in. Let us know.
We see you, Clint. We see you, Fair.
We see you, Bertrand. Talk later.